Saints are still alive for the postseason, Dave. My playoff dreams won't die. This is potentially the biggest, most important Falcons hate week ever. Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to the award-winning Saints Happy Hour podcast. Seriously, this podcast has won awards. American standards are dropping every day. The show features Ralph, the best host in the world, who can barely pronounce his own name, much less anyone else's.
Marcus Marquez Callaway.
Dave is that dude who loves taking bathroom breaks. He's mad about almost anything, so make sure to lower your volume when he speaks.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Andrew has sources, watches tapes, and knows football. He rarely shows up on time and wants to commit crimes to help the Saints win.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Oh, and there's also Kevin, who is great at doing mock drafts, but struggles to actually watch Saints games or have a functioning relationship.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Anyway, grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the insanity.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. As always, we are brought to you by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. I'm Ralph Marble. I'm joined by Dave, Andrew.
Don't start today, Dave.
People.
Speaking of,
People won't even let me get through the intro spiel. They're already doing the text to voice donations. Best $20 you can spend.
Who was that?
I got Dave. I got Andrew.
Hatchet John.
Hello to everybody on the Twitch right now. I can see who that golfer, Hatchet John, Jerry, Bulldog Saint, Jason Champagne, everybody. Ton of people. Saints win. People get excited. Octoberist. It's amazing. You know,
Making it rain.
Romeo.
Romeo is here. Thanks, Romeo. Romeo, we're working on that.
Romeo,
We're working on that audio for the live show. It's getting there. Tonight, we are going to recap all the fun the Saints had in Tampa, break down all the playoff scenarios, and how will the Saints deal with the injuries on the offensive line, Alvin Kamara. Plus, the hotline is ready for Hate Week. We answer all your questions, and we're going to preview Saints Falcons. Before we start, remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. And I also have to mention about our MVP contest. It's getting near the end. Jerry at JLD Hot Sauces and Knives gave me this custom-made knife. Zoom in, enhance, Thomas, with the Saints Happy Hour logo. We are going to raffle that bad boy off at the end of the season. And if we reach $100 in donations tonight, the MVP will choose which minibar bottle from my gigantic minibar booze collection I'm going to poison myself with. Thanks to Monadula. Thanks to San Antonio Saint. They shipped me boxes. I got so much booze now. My wife is like, we're going to need a separate shelf to house all this booze that people are sending me. Dave, I got some disgusting concoctions tonight.
Did you send him the Malort yet, Dave?
I was saying earlier before we started the show, the last thing I did before I left the store today to go home was to mail Ralph his box of crap. So he's got what was a 6-pack, now a 5-pack of Malort, because I think we did one
That's right.
at the live show. Your bottle of Hardhide is coming. You've got all those little bottles, your little whiskey bottles, your other random, like Mephisto and other random bottles of liqueur are in there. The autograph buttons minus Andrew's autographs is in there.
Maybe we should have forged Andrew. So tonight, Dave, the options that I'll be drinking. Butterscotch, that doesn't sound too bad. But this one here, peach, cinnamon, and jalapeno, that sounds disgusting.
Peach, cinnamon, and jalapeno.
I don't know.
What peach, cinnamon, jalapeno?
Peach and jalapeno I could see going together,
whiskey?
but cinnamon?
Oh, it's a whiskey?
Yeah.
Peach, jalapeno, whiskey?
What do your bowel movements look like, Ralph? You know, we've never discussed this.
Pretty regularly, Dave.
Like, no, I know you mean you're doing it on a regular schedule, but what do they look
Yeah,
like?
let's not finish. Let's not answer that.
Behind the scenes.
Some things are left better unsaid.
We're guys. This is the only thing we do to check our health is to look in the toilet and make sure everything's okay.
After you
no blood. I'm alive.
After you check in the toilet and check your poop, consider donating via Stream Elements by typing in !donate in the chat and click on the link that appears. Twitch takes about 50% of the cut, like the mob, when you donate using bits and dollars. So if you spend less, this way you spend less and it's easier to get me drunk. It's win-win. Even Andrew can use it. Plus,
and
you already
John.
Text-to-speech donations, best $20 you could spend. Thomas, do we have an MVP leader already?
Of course, Hatchet John is in the lead with $20. Last week, the one and only the Joe Schulter won with almost 10K bits. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I switched the donation goal to dollars instead of bits.
That's right.
Because people got used to donating via Stream Elements. Also, thanks to Who Dat Golfer for subscribing, to Brett Lafayette for subscribing, to Romeo, to John Don Checo for gifting us up, and to Octoberisk for subscribing, and just right now to Akmage for subscribing. New month, by the way, so many subscriptions.
If we get to 400 subscribers on Patreon during a show, I will do a shot every 10 minutes. If we get to 400 pages.
Tell your friends.
Every 10 minutes.
Every
like
10
7-8 shots.
Tell your neighbor.
Every 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
We might need to keep that show short.
Dave, what are you drinking?
I went deep in the fridge. This is from 2022. This is a Bourbon County brand stout. This is their version with blended with Earl Grey, black tea, and honey. It's
sounds awful.
Fog stout. This was from 2020, and it tastes okay. I used to like all this stuff like 5 years ago, and my palate has kind of evolved or changed or improved, whatever you want to say. And like this stuff doesn't really appeal to me as much as
I won't call it improved until you stop drinking IPAs.
Yeah. So Andrew, what are you drinking?
Dry January, buddy. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm 2 days in.
Oh, you're doing that.
You don't get off Jimmy Graham scores a touchdown and dunks. You don't dry January, shove it up your ass. Like you're drinking
shove it
IPA.
up your ass.
Yeah.
I'm
still not sure I follow.
Listen, I made the decision that like.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking
the usual hard hide
with strawberry lemonade. It's amazing. I love it. It's been a great season drinking the hard hide. Listen, I made the decision this week. I announced it on Twitter, and we're not going to talk tonight. We're not going to talk about should they stay, should he go, should they fire Pete Carmichael. We'll put that aside.
I don't know why. I don't know why. There's no question to this. I've already discussed this. Yeah. I cannot emphasize this enough. He's not going anywhere. It's done.
Well, we'll put it aside. Well, we got all off season to talk about that. We got to get into hate week, and we got to talk tonight. We got to laugh at the Bucs. We got to talk playoff scenarios. Andrew, the Saints go to Tampa and kick Tampa Bay's ass. By the way, I told you so. We'll get to more. I'll do my victory lap when we recap predictions. Easiest pick I made all year. I bet on the Saints. I made money. It was glorious. Saints scored a TD opening drive. Dennis Allen, of course, gave us his uncomfortable dad victory speech. And Dave, I want to say this. Gail looked amazing. She looked like the queen in like a Star Wars movie. But I thought of you, Dave, when I watched Dennis Allen give his uninspiring victory speech. His nipple game is really disappointing. Thomas, play that soundbite.
This game's hard. It's never freaking easy. So the moment you're waiting around for the easy game, the easy practice, the easy whatever the case may be, like that doesn't come around. Right? This game's freaking hard. But it's the teams that handle the hard the best are the teams that win the games. You guys handled it today. Okay? You guys handled it today. All right? Bink? Okay? There's a reason why we went in freaking pads on Wednesday. You with me? Because this game is played in pads, and this game is about dominating up front. I challenge the offensive line and the defensive line to dominate up front. Okay? I feel like we did that. You with me? Hey, and any great team I've ever been a part of, all right, it goes through the front. It goes through the O-line, and it goes through the D-line. When those teams handle their business, when those units handle their business, a lot of success comes that way. All right? That's a hell of a job. Hell of a job this week. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Great job, man.
No,
Andrew?
I actually thought he was kind of energized there.
As good as it can
What?
get. It's as good
That's
as
about
that
as
is-
good
that
as
is-
it gets for him.
That is as good as it gets.
Nipple game was
If you're not
weak,
watching the video,
Nipple game.
Gail, I know Ralph said it, but Miss Gail is looking beautiful there in white, standing behind him. And so knowing that, like I give him a pass.
He gets
normally
like a
I would,
solid C+ for that.
but normally I would give him a pass because he's got to tone it down for Miss Gail. I mean, he was still cursing, but I know he was. You still have to watch what you say when Miss Gail's in the locker room. And normally I would give him a pass for that, but like that was like you said, that was about as energetic. Like we've seen worse when Gail isn't present.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so
definitely.
like that's the problem. I don't look. He's just. He makes Jameis like Jameis looks more inspiring compared to Dennis Allen. I mean that is impressive. He makes Jameis look like Jimmy Swaggart or whoever. I don't know. Like I don't know. He very vanilla, very vanilla.
DA's.
I feel like when he tried to like when his kids were younger. I don't know how old his kids are. Maybe his kids are younger now. But like when he had to like punish them, they probably like were like laughing and couldn't even like keep a straight face when he was like giving them time out, and they were probably like laughing.
If that's true, I've never felt closer to Dennis Allen than I do right now.
Coach better. Do your job.
Kids are
That's what it's
laughing
about.
But Andrew, the one thing that struck me about his speech is like, we've been saying all year the lines stink. Like what? Like is he just now figuring it out? Like I need to challenge my offense and defensive line. Like it took him 17 weeks to figure that out.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I think he was able to kind of look back at when they came to the Superdome, because I feel like of all the games the Saints played this year, Tampa was the worst. I mean, they really got their teeth kicked in that one, and it wasn't nearly as close as the score would suggest. So when I think back to the season, like that was the most lopsided, to the point where I was like, man, they're not going to go into Tampa and do anything against this team. So I have to say I was surprised, and right out of the gate, just defensively, especially Tampa couldn't do anything. I mean, the first half was unbelievable. Now it got a little weird at the end because the Saints couldn't ice the game. They couldn't run the ball, the defensive line was dominant. They stopped the run. Baker Mayfield couldn't do anything. Normally they need Lattimore to shut down Mike Evans, but they did that without his help. I don't know. I'm not going to rain on the parade, man. When they have a good week and they win, like I'm in a good mood, So, I mean, look, we said this in the post game. It's a little too late, right? So maybe they get lucky and they win this weekend. Carolina wins and they win the division. They go to the playoffs. Like, I mean, there's a small chance that happens. And if they do, then obviously I'll be in a different mindset and a different mood. But it feels like low probability, and really all they needed was to reverse one result to be in the driver's seat this weekend. And so then your mind starts going back to all these games that were there for the taking, where they shot themselves in the foot. And it's just so frustrating because, I mean, they were this close.
Well, the Green Bay game, but the thing that was frustrating, the thing that is frustrating about it is they played a lot of close games, but they had a lot of games too, Dave, where they never led. So it isn't like the Saints have gagged up a bunch of games and you're like, God damn, we led 4 games in the fourth quarter and we blew them all. If we'd have just held on to one of them, we'd have been fine. Like the Saints have been pretty.
The Green Bay game is the one that's just the one that got away.
Yeah, and of course Green Bay, they win, they get in the playoffs, which is annoying.
FYI, sacks per pass attempt for the New Orleans Saints this season, 5.54%, ranked 5th highest. So not
yeah.
good.
Thank you, Octoberist. I want to talk about this. Octoberist mentioned that Tampa accused the Saints of being a dirty team. I don't want to hear that crap from Tampa, Andrew. They ruined Jameis's career with a horse collar. right?
Yep,
and
right.
they
don't forget Mike Evans cheap shotting Lattimore.
What are they accusing us of doing? What did we do?
Being dirty because we hurt Baker's ribs at the end of the game.
Oh no! Hey, that was just the ghost of Greg Williams coming back to haunt your ass. Okay,
honestly, that hit for Matthew too, the roughing the passer, like he hit him in the shoulder with the shoulder pad. Like I've seen that not get flagged many times.
Yeah, Tampa. The thing is with Tampa, they just want a rival because it's like they don't have a rival in the South. Like it's us in Atlanta, and no one cares about Carolina. So like Tampa desperately, like they want a rival. Oh, and by the way, Andrew, did you know the Saints? They've won in Tampa 6 of the last 7 times, and the only time they lost, they were winning 16-0 against Tom Brady.
It feels like a home game. Yeah, I forgot. I mean, Octoberist just mentioned Jensen. I completely forgot about Jensen. That dude's the dirtiest player in the league.
Oh yeah, their center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Tampa, like Wirf's like mouthing off about it. The Saints are like any other team. I'd be like, maybe we are a little dirty. Like not Tampa. Shut your mouth.
It does feel like they've beaten us in New Orleans 6 out of the last 7 times.
Does it?
I feel like we always beat them there, and they beat us.
Yeah,
at home.
they beat them. They beat the Saints in 2009 in New Orleans too. Which
yeah.
Is weird. Dave, I don't know if Thomas can put it up because I sent it to him late, but somebody in the Discord put this up, and I thought it was really interesting. If Derek Carr, if he throws for 300 yards against Atlanta and 3 touchdowns, he will reach his career average for what he does. He'll reach 3,900 yards, 26 touchdowns. Like that's his career average. So like, I know we have a lot of consternation and people don't like Derek Carr and his attitude and his delivery or whatever, how he doesn't take accountability, all that, whatever. But like, if he has another good game Sunday, he's going to be like what he's always been. So like the 12th to 15th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
So like, did the Saints sort of get exactly what they paid for with Derek Carr?
Yeah, I'm just looking at stats here because I knew we were going to talk about this. Saints are 12th in the league in passing yards per game. They are 17th in the league in passing yards per play. They are 21st in the league in 16th in the league in in total yards per game. So right in the middle. But again, like I said earlier, they are 5th in the league at sacks, giving up sacks. So, I mean, like,
in the good way or the bad way?
No, the bad way. In the bad way.
Yeah.
We're 5th worst in the league, and we give up the most.
We give up a lot of sacks.
Yeah, at 5.54% of our plays, we give up a sack. So that's gotten
a lot better.
Every 20 plays.
I would guess that earlier in the year it was much worse.
Yeah. You're probably right.
For the first 10 quarters, it was more than a sack a quarter, and that's why Derek Carr got hurt.
I don't have any way to look at historical stats like that, but I mention all this to say that, like, look, Derek Carr is, I mean, yes, you're right. When Derek Carr has time, when he's well protected, he certainly has enough talent to be an average quarterback. When he doesn't have time, he does not possess the skill set to extend plays, to make maybe something out of nothing, to scramble, to leave the pocket, to avoid a sack. So I think he makes it easier for defenses. But, to answer your question, just on paper, yeah, I think you're right. Like we were kind of thinking, I don't know. I think in retrospect, I think we would say maybe middle of the pack is the floor. And I think maybe we were hoping that, top 10 was maybe what we were hoping for, and maybe what we would maybe get, especially considering, I think, my main thing when we got Derek Carr, I think the biggest thing that sold me on it was the
guy liner.
No, that definitely did not sell me on that. Is the fact that he was coming from Oakland/Las Vegas, a dysfunctional organization, I think me, and I think I speak for a lot of Saints fans, felt like, okay, he's coming to New Orleans. We'll be able to work with him. We'll be able to make him better. Yeah, we'll be able to make him better. And, hindsight, retrospect, I don't know if we're any better than Las Vegas and Oakland as far as, coaching up a quarterback now that Peyton's gone.
Here's the thing, though, Andrew.
I don't know. I don't know. Regardless, to answer your question, regardless of whether we get what we asked for or not, I don't care. I still want to trade it in. I still want to go back to the dealership with the used car. I don't care how much value
1 hour or 2 hours.
2 hours. I don't care how much value it's lost since I've driven it off the lot and taken it around for a spin along Lake Pontchartrain.
You can't do that, Dave. I just got used to saying Derek Carr correctly.
Right.
Are you lobbying for us to draft a quarterback? Is that what you're? Is that where this analogy is going?
I don't see how we're in position to draft a quarterback that's worth a damn.
We're not.
Go Tigers.
So
go Tigers.
I will say this. I think Carr is guilty by association a little bit with DA. I think DA likes him, ergo, all the I hate DA Saints fans. Carr is guilty by association, and they hate him partially for that. Part of it is what I think Ralph mentioned earlier, is just his demeanor, his attitude, like how he's reacted a couple times. I know a lot of Saints fans are really worked up about DA calling out individual players. He's done that a couple times this year. He did it to Olave. I can't remember who else he did it to, but then he kind of makes excuses for Carr. So again, that kind of goes back to them being in bed together. And so guilty by association. I look at Carr and I look at a guy who I agree with what a lot of Dave said. I don't know that he necessarily elevates the team. I think if things are solid around him, he can operate and be pretty good. But yeah, we got what he's always been. And I think Carr is always in that like 12 to 18 zone. And if things are really stable and good, his peak is kind of that 11th or 12th best quarterback in the league, and you can win with that. And then if things are bad, like he's down to 17, 18, and it's not that great. But I will say, the last few weeks, I'd say really for 5 weeks now, he's been pretty good. And statistically, it's gotten a lot better. Now, we've played some easier opponents. That's part of it. But I don't think it's any coincidence or accident that as his shoulder has gotten better, his performance has improved. I mean, he had an injury to his throwing right shoulder. And as that has healed, and as he's gotten hit less because the offensive line and the pass protection has gotten a little bit better, as he's gotten more comfortable with the offense and the game planning, I think things have gotten better. And so, look, we're stuck with him. Look, if I could trade the guy for something else that I liked better, I would do it too. But we're stuck with Derek Carr. I am intrigued by how these last several weeks, statistically, the numbers are a lot better all of a sudden. And it's because he's rattled off 5 or 6 pretty good games in a row. And so, not surprisingly, there's been wins associated with that.
He's been pretty good since the bye. I mean, I know he threw a horrible pick against Atlanta, but he's been pretty good since the bye. Like,
so my thing is like, okay, are we going to see this continue to trend in the right direction? Now, keep in mind, like, we're probably talking about an offensive overhaul in the offseason, new terminology, new coach on that side of the ball. So, that worries me a little bit because, like, he's just getting used to this, and now we're potentially going to change it all up again. But, yeah, I mean, if he's starting to develop some chemistry and figure it out, that's a positive sign. And so I'm wondering if he can piggyback off this next season, this run that he's on, or is this just the Derek Carr experience? Up 1 week, down the next, he gets hot for a little bit, and he regresses back. So, like, that's kind of been his whole career like that. So
that's the Derek Carr experience. You just answered your own question. When you said that's been his whole career, you answered your question.
Well, the one thing
I'm hoping that he lights up Atlanta. It would be nice to see him have a great game on Sunday.
I mean, we'll get to the Atlanta game at the end when we do the preview, but like, I said it on the post-game show, and I'll say it again. Like, I think if the Saints kick the crap out of Atlanta, like Arthur Smith might get fired. Like if the Saints would beat the brakes off the Falcons, Arthur Smith might get fired. My only defense of Derek Carr is this. If you told me in August that the Saints running game was going to be as bad as it's been, and it's been atrocious.
Yeah, take Taysom Hill out of there. And
take Taysom Hill, and it's the worst. Take Taysom Hill out of it, and it's the worst in the league. It's as bad as Tampa. Like, if you told me how bad the run game was going to be, like this Derek Carr is actually kind of surprised me that he's been able to be this good with the Derek Carr.
Here we go. Yeah,
I was gonna call
back.
Dave.
It's coming back.
I'm coming back. I was gonna call
I
Dave.
thought you were addressing me for a second.
I was addressing you as Derek. But Dave, I was gonna say
well,
that's
fucking insulting. You watch your fucking
it's the meanest thing I've ever said to you, right?
Yeah.
Not to be negative, but this might be the worst running game I've ever seen as a Saints fan. It's bad when they run the ball. I'm like, why are you doing that? It could be 2nd and 2. I'm like, why are you running the ball?
I'll give you some stats. Rushing yards per game, 99.3 yards, so they don't even top 100. But that's only 21st in the league. Rushing yards per play, though, 3.57 yards. That's 31st in the league. That is 2nd worst in the league.
Who's worse?
Let's see. Oh, actually, the
Bucs.
Yes, the Bucs. The Bucs, 3.4 yards a play.
Yeah.
How about that, NFC South? Keep up the good work.
If you take out Taysom, the Saints are the worst.
Let's see where the other NFC South teams are.
It's bad.
Carolina's bad.
But Andrew,
Carolina's 23rd in the league, actually.
As long as me, I feel like. Can you remember a Saints running game?
Interception! Matt Ryan.
We are all just here to get Ralph drunk, so shut up and drink.
Who put that in there?
Oh wow!
Thanks to Rage83076 for the 50 buckaroo donation and becoming a new MVP leader.
Wait, that's a number? Is it a phone number?
I don't know, maybe. You should try it, man.
So, all right. So you got MVP leader. What am I going to drink? Am I going to drink the butterscotch, schnapps, or the peach cinnamon and jalapeno?
No, peach cinnamon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to Rage.
The Rage, trust me. Rage wants you to take the peach cinnamon.
Rage says, call me for a good time, Dave.
Yeah, Rage says peach cinnamon.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Don't forget to rate it, Ralph.
The puke meter.
It smells like a burrito.
All right, let's go.
What kind of burrito?
I don't even know, David, but it smells like meat. Oh,
Meat.
It's a peach with cinnamon.
It's peach, cinnamon, and jalapeno, but it smells like meat.
Okay, this is interesting.
You did the whole thing. Oh, I've never seen that reaction before. His eyes got big.
Maybe tense coming.
I think his arm got
tense up. I had a moment where I only got half of it down. I had a panic moment because I thought it was going to come back up, and the puke bucket is pinned under the bench that I sit on behind the scenes. My wife was frantic because the cat peed everywhere and she was cleaning it up. So I'm kind of like rearranged in a weird spot.
Fuck.
And I was this close to throwing up, man. This was disgusting. This is Thomas. Can it like
Sally,
break?
I need assistance.
Can it like break the top and like overflow like a volcano?
No, 10 is when you puke. So it's a 9.
So it's a 9. Oh God, that was fucking. And no, by the way, you know who gave me this, Dave? Your friend Keith.
Really?
He took me on another dinner date. He took me on another dinner date last week.
Oh, wait, you went out again?
I went out again.
Do you get his Christmas card? I got a Christmas card this year.
I got a Christmas card. I got a Christmas.
Keith didn't send me a Christmas card.
Me and Keith are dating.
Come on, Keith.
I know my wife got the card and she was like, who the hell are these people? I'm like, that's Keith. I went to college with him. He listens to the podcast. She's like, what the hell is going on?
Keith's my new best friend.
I'm like, it's Ralph's best friend.
I hear my kids screaming at each other upstairs. That sounds like it's going
What are they doing awake? It's 9:30. Don't they have school tomorrow?
They do. They do not have school tomorrow. They start Thursday.
Yeah, get these kids in school. All this extended Christmas break is for the birds.
Now wait, we don't have Kevin, and we haven't had Kevin in a while, so we need a Ralph Love update. So where did Keith take you? Where did you go to dinner?
So we went to Killen's Steakhouse
again. Did he pay?
He paid again.
You gotta pay at some point. What's going on? This is ridiculous. It's also not fair.
You went on a meat date.
Yeah, you're eating our donations. This isn't fair. Like, this is money he could be donating to the podcast.
He could be, but instead we had a lovely steak.
What do you guys talk about?
The Saints. What do you think we talk about? Our colons days, like we talk about the Saints and colons.
Hopefully he didn't ask you about how your poops look. Hopefully he didn't.
That's a third day question.
Tackle, Braylon Allen at Air Bay. Time for some fun.
Thanks to Bobby for the 20 buckaroos who want me to play that again.
You play it again.
Oh, deception!
Well, we got to hear the whole sound.
Time to overhaul the offensive staff. Penning at right tackle, Braylon Allen at Air Bay. Time for some fun.
I don't even know.
What? Fun would be Penning nowhere on the offensive line.
It's Trevor Penalty.
Trevor Penalty, like, they're done with him. Like, they're playing Cam Irving over him. Like, they're done with Trevor Penalty. So, speaking of a good time, we are presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. They are always a good time. Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey is a strawberry-flavored whiskey blended with aged wheat whiskey, American light whiskey, fresh strawberries from Ponchatoula, Louisiana. It's 86 proof. Blended and bottled in New Orleans, Louisiana at the Porch Jam Distillery. Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey is not for the thin-skinned. You can pick up a bottle wherever fine spirits are sold in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. To learn more and to find a location to get a bottle near you, go to hardhidestrawberrywhiskey.com. Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey is supporting Saints Happy Hour all football season long, so support the people who support the show. Grab a bottle of Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey today. We're going to skip question 3 because Dave has just left and gone away, and we talked about the run.
What are you talking about?
I was reading the script. I saw that you left. You came back. But we talked about the crummy run game. Andrew, I want to talk about
it. Sucks. Recap. It sucks.
It's in a nutshell. Here's the great way to talk about the Saints run game in a nutshell. It sucks.
Well, but I'll say this. When they got Jamal Williams, I was excited. I thought they were going to use him kind of like Mark Ingram.
And his personality is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I want him to be good.
Did you see how excited he got? He just broke off that it was like 15 yards. It wasn't like anything crazy.
It was awesome.
But I think it was like the biggest run of his
season. He was
season.
so pumped. Yeah.
Dude, you think he won the Super Bowl and scored the winning touchdown? He was freaking the F out.
You know what, though? Like, we need more of that on this team.
No, exactly. I'm not no hate at all. But,
I mean, it concerns me that like they run the ball so poorly that it's amazing that their inability to run the ball hasn't cost them games. Hopefully they can stretch that out another week. But
I will say this in Jamal Williams' defense. I mean, remember how many years Craig Robertson was aggressively mediocre at linebacker, but we celebrated that guy like he was the greatest player on the team because his enthusiasm and even in preseason games in the fourth quarter when there was like less than 10,000 fans in the stands, you could hear Craig Robertson on the field how excited he was if he made a play. Like he was louder than any fan in the building.
They did a retirement ceremony for him.
That's how I feel about Jamal Williams. Like, I appreciate and respect his love for the game, his excitement. Because if there was anyone on the Saints that should be frustrated and should be disappointed by how the season has gone and bring in negative energy, Jamal Williams might be at the top of the list.
Well, that's what I was going to continue to say, and I've said this before, is I know our run game sucks. It's a fact. It's on paper here, statistically proven. But I think, again, I've said this before, I think that part of that, at least part of that, is because we've never really dedicated ourselves, our offense, to that. We've never been that. We were never really that way with Sean Payton and Pete Carmichael. We're still really not that way. We're still a pass first team, run second kind of team.
I think that
I've Jamal Williams. I always kind of thought though was a back who needs 15, 20 touches, needs to get into a rhythm. He doesn't get that here. He's never had that here. I think that the failures or the non-successes of the running game are at least partially because of a lack of commitment to it.
I don't necessarily think it's a lack of I don't necessarily agree with it. It's a lack of commitment because they wanted to run the ball the second half of Tampa when they got up 20-0. They just couldn't, Dave. But to your point,
well, and the other half is that the offensive line sucks too.
I think it's a scheme.
To Dave's point, Andrew, I don't think the Saints running game, we think of like passing game. We think of passing games like, oh, you got to run that McVay and that Shanahan, all the new latest things. We don't think of the running game that way. But like the Saints running game, it's kind of stale. Like they never run plays off emotions unless it's like a jet sweep. They just like their run game is dated and stale, and they need an infusion of something in it to get it going.
I've talked to some people around the league that I know, and that the consensus is that Sean Payton, like running has never been.
Why
the
don't you
forte
back it up with a
of
source? My source is that I made it the fuck up.
So I think with the Saints, they don't really have a history of being a truly great running football team. Mm-hmm. And it's been really easy, especially with Drew over the years in this offense. They've been running against a base box.
Yeah.
And so it's been very easy for them, I think, to run the ball in a number of situations. And I think for the first time ever, teams are daring him to throw the ball. And we've seen that over the last 2 years, unless it's Taysom Hill kind of powering his way. And Taysom Hill is exceptional. He's one of the more unique runners in the league. But when it's not him, I just don't think part of it's personnel. And I still maintain that like Alvin Kamara is not the way they use him. It just doesn't lend itself to his skill set. He's a guy that does damage in space. He's not a guy you want to pound in between the tackles.
It's almost like the Pete Carmichael and the running game of the Saints. They're stuck in 2021 where the Saints had all the quarterback injuries and the COVID injuries and the receivers sucked. And Sean Payton ran Alvin Kamara between the tackles against the Jets and against Atlanta, the final game of the year. And it worked. Yeah. And they're like, well, you can do it. You can do it. No. He did it because that was all they freaking had. And he was like, we got to do this out of necessity. They seem to think that like, that's the way to go. But the running game, like they said, it sucks the end. But I want to talk about something positive. And I want both of your thoughts, but I want to start with Andrew. The defense, Andrew, has been excellent for 3 of the past 4 weeks. Look, fine. It's Tommy DeVito, Bryce Young. They suck. I get it. But the Bucs, say whatever you want about them. They were the hottest team in the NFC. No team had won as much as the Bucs had. They won 4 straight. And DA's defense just dominated them for 3 quarters. Has the defense figured some stuff out? As far as
I think the pass rush has gotten better. I mean, I think Zach Bond replacing Cam Jordan on pass rushing downs has been a big adjustment, and that's been a positive. And Bond's gotten a couple sacks now. I think Brissy gets better every week. That's kind of a low key. Like that was a nice draft pick. Like he has 4.5 sacks now, and he's only really playing on third downs. So I'm excited to see, how his career develops. I still think Granderson's having a great year. So, I think the pass rush has gotten a little better, and that's helped. I give they made some adjustments. I give Dennis Allen some credit there. The defense has been a little bit up and down all year. Like there's been pockets this season where they couldn't stop the run. Or they couldn't rush the passer. So it hasn't been perfect. but the secondary's been pretty good all year. But I mean, there's been a number of games where they've played like this. Yeah.
Congratulations on your first interception. Dave, if I told you that the Saints since 2021 by EPA per play on defense were the second best defense, would you believe me?
Wow.
Since 2021,
the Saints are number 2 in EPA per play on defense.
EPA, what is that?
That is estimated
like expected yards per play, or
expected points against per play. The Saints are
per play,
are number 2 in defense. Would you believe me?
I think I would have to.
Well, yeah,
because you don't normally come at me.
I mean, that's a big vote of confidence in DA's ability. Yeah. Like I'm not even trying to pom-pom for DA, because like I do think he, as a leader of an organization, as a motivational speaker, like there's some things where he really struggles.
I'm gonna just blame someone on DA just cause.
but I still think it's undeniable that the dude can call a defense, and schematically he's good at that.
I still have jalapeno taste in my mouth. This is
I mean, don't you guys think he's kind of proven that again this season, that he's a good defensive coach?
Let me tell you something.
He's a very good defensive coach.
Let me tell you something.
I have said this, what I have always said, and I wish this could happen, and it never will. It never has, and it never will. I wish that they could make a change at head coach and keep him as defensive coordinator.
Philadelphia's defense is the Eagles are an abject disaster on defense. They're going to be a one and done playoff team. If you love me and you listen to the podcast, Saints Eagles round 1 in the Dome, please give it to me. They would roll out the red carpet for DA if the Saints would have fired him after.
Saints defense points per game, they rank 9th. Points per game, they're giving up 19.4 on average. Point differential, so offense and defense compared, we rank 9th actually.
Yeah, the Saints' point differential is better than the Eagles.
We're on the positive side. That's what's good.
The Saints,
we score more than we give up.
The
overall.
Saints dump truck bad teams. They've done it all year.
Right.
So I just like this defense, Andrew. It's been good. And listen, to be positive, if you want to spin it forward, positive for DA, Brissy, Granderson, if they could finally draft an edge rusher, you might have something on the defensive line. And listen, say whatever you want about DA. We know he can coach. He's got Isaac Yiadom playing competent corner. Like, that's incredible. So we know, like, if you give DA a pass rush, he's going to destroy offenses and quarterbacks. Like, the defensive line from the Saints, with the way Brissy,
unless you can run as a quarterback. If you're running quarterback, then you're screwed. But no, you're right. I mean, and overall, like if I'm just judging this team based off how they played defensively, I would give them, a solid B. I think this year, like it was pretty good.
Stop BSing the people in this country.
But unfortunately, that's not like an evaluation of a football team is so much more than that. And when you become a head coach, it stops being about how good you are on one side of the ball, and it starts to become about how good you are at managing the whole operation. And I think that's where, we felt like anyway, he's staying. It doesn't matter. This is Falcons hate week. As a reminder, the series is tied overall in history now because they beat us earlier this year. So we need to beat them in order to reclaim the 1-game lead overall head to head. So this is a big one.
It's huge.
And I don't want to, I need every Saints fan out there. First of all, I still hear people rooting for the Saints to lose because they want a better draft.
Get out of here.
All right.
Get out of here.
So you got to suspend that. You got to suspend your hate of DA. This is the Falcons. I don't even care about the playoffs. It's not even a playoffs ploy that I'm giving you here. It's the Falcons.
Beat them.
The Falcons represent all that is vile, unholy, and wrong in this world.
That's right.
That's what they stand for.
Yeah. They picked Brissy at 29. Don't give me like 5 spots in the draft. I don't care. Thomas, give us a donation update.
All right, so Rage is still in the lead with $50, and we've got a three-way tie at the second place with Hatchet John, Jason Champagne, and Budridge. Everyone with 20 buckaroos. Let me thank everyone again. Thanks to Ali Marino for $5, to Jason Champagne for $10 total, to Rage again for $50, to Budridge for $20, and we are at 145 out of $180 for the second drink. Wow.
Thank you. I'll drink the butterscotch. I will.
Butterscotch sounds delicious. I gotta say, like a butterscotch liqueur, like
but like on top of jalapeno,
like
peach,
the jalapeno is
whatever.
It hadn't settled in, Andrew. It was rough. Like I would say, like if I really like these two in combo, like it scares me. Like it does. It scares me.
All right. Well, then keep donating, people.
So the hotline, only 8 calls.
Only 8 calls.
Only 8. Disappointing. 5 minutes long 5 minutes long overall. People were in shock. They thought they were watching the Twilight Zone. And an important message. Williford called again, but listen to the uncensored hotline for that. Thomas is putting the good shit behind the paywall.
I think you pronounced his name wrong. I think it's just Wilfred.
Wilford.
I don't think it's Willifred.
I don't know. But anyway, Thomas, play the hotline. He's gonna be mad next week, boy.
Yeah, before that, thanks to Huda Goffer for 1K bits. Thanks, man. Let's play the hotline.
Nice.
It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
So we're a minute into the game and Olave already has his first drop. How the hell are our cornerbacks better this season at catching the ball than our supposed number one receiver?
The only thing that really sucks about this game is that this was the promise that we were sold at the beginning of the year, and now it's just coming into some kind of shape at the end of the year.
I just got one question for y'all. Why were the Saints wearing red jerseys today? Yep.
Oh, my God. Better late than never? I mean, I don't know what to think at this point. Saints looked amazing. We need the unthinkable. We need Carolina to come through and beat the fucking Bucs, man. I just love it. And this, you know what? I think this would be the most coveted NFC South Championship shirt I've ever owned.
Holding that fucking cannon to 2 fire ends is gold. Black and gold.
Who dat? No impression. No, I'm not even going to try and sing because I actually had a New Year's South song ready. But Saints beating the Bucs in shenanigans way is so funny. But, Mason Crosby, you fucking bastard. I had to shank that fucking field goal. Okay, well, we just have to win NFC South. We got to hope Andy Dalton, tries to replicate, his magic. And we just got to beat the Falcons. We know what we need to do, and we just got to goddamn motherfucking do it. I think the Saints can beat the Falcons.
Maybe.
Atlanta, Arthur Smith, them all.
Oh, yeah. All hail to our Saints Happy Hour leader, the only one who called the game right. Who Dat Nation's second favorite cripple, Ralph Marlboro. Hell yeah, buddy. Who Dat? Go Saints.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Second favorite. Who's the first?
That's right.
I'm assuming he's referring to Steve Gleason.
Oh.
Thomas, maybe?
What?
I did the hotline. It was good. All
right, yeah. Listen, so for those of you that aren't watching live with us right now, the phone number. Write this down. I'm about to tell you what it is because you got to make this one count. This is the last game of the season unless we make the playoffs. We're playing the Falcons, so write this number down. Call in on Sunday. Give us rage, give us anger, give us happiness, give us joy. If we make the playoffs, you can second line in your living room and let us hear it. 210-595-0818. I'll say it one more time. 210-595-0818. Call that number. Let us feel your emotions. It's Falcons Hate Week and bring it. Make sure you bring it on Sunday. This might be your last chance of the season.
Yeah. So it's the hotline. It's Dave's baby. Make Dave proud.
Yeah, why is that a San Antonio area code, Ralph?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
It's a Google. It's a Google.
Maybe
phone.
San Antonio Saints set it up for Ralph.
That's right.
Yeah, we need that to be a 5. I'm with Octoberist. We need to make that a 504 number. Come on.
So we got to get to questions. The Saints Happy Hour viewer.
I'm actually super offended the more I think about this. San Antonio.
Yeah, I don't know why Google did.
I know the city that we were going to move to.
Time to drink, Ralph.
Hatchet John has just become a new MVP by $1. Damn. Thanks, man.
Wow. Incredible.
Nice.
51 total.
Did we hit the threshold?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Can't you see?
Oh, wow.
Can't you see?
Oh, can't you see? Butter schnapps.
I'm serious. You got to figure out how to change that number, Ralph.
I know. Maybe Thomas.
It's been 2 years.
San Antonio sucks.
Maybe we can switch to Polish number. The Polish number, man.
From San
Maybe
Antonio.
Thomas, when Google sends us the alert, like in April, that we haven't used the hotline.
I mean,
no one's called it in 2 months. If you don't use it, we're gonna shut it down. Maybe we let it shut it down, and we get a new one with the 504 number. Well, it smells delicious.
What?
But I'm scared because my stomach is not set.
Does it smell like a Werther's original?
It does. It smells like
smells like grandma's candy dish.
It smells like Halloween at a nursing home.
Rest in peace, my grandma.
All right.
Who definitely had a candy dish.
It really did taste like a Werther's, Dave. I'm not gonna lie.
It was good.
It was good, but now my stomach is.
Oh yeah.
What's the
what was the song? Did Werther's original have a song?
No,
not that I recall.
It's a 0, Thomas, but it's got
1.
things percolating. It's got things brewing in my innards that are bad.
Ooh, but you're regular. It's fine.
I'm regular.
You must be regular.
It might come out of my mouth.
Just nice solid logs.
All right, no schnapps anymore. All right, I want Malort.
The stuff that assuming the package arrives that I sent today, and it's not dripping wet and leaking and smelling of bile and obscure alcohols.
That Malort that I had at the live show was absolutely awful.
Yeah. He's got 5 bottles of Malort, some other random wormwood
is the
stuff.
most disgusting thing I've ever.
It's the worst thing I've ever tasted. And that it's not at the beginning that it really hits you. It's the aftertaste. It's just so vile, and it just sticks with you.
Yeah.
For
wait, are we talking about Derek Carr?
We got to get to questions. So
Hatchet John says we can't let Ralph pick his drinks for the show anymore.
Yes, agreed. Ralph, were you going to ask us the question about where this ranked if the Saints
We
win?
are going to get to that.
Okay.
We're going to get to that at the beginning of the mailbag. So the Saints Happy Hour viewer mailbag is brought to you by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. You can pick up a bottle wherever fine spirits are sold in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. To learn more and to find a location to get a bottle near you, go to hardhidestrawberrywhiskey.com. Thomas, take it to the top. I want to say I got real nostalgic today about the Saints clinching a playoff spot in the final week of the season. I watched the condensed 30-minute version of Saints-Rams from 1990, where Morton Anderson kicked the field goal and they got to 8-8 and clinched the playoff spot. Andrew, I had forgotten that the Saints almost blew that game in horrific fashion. They were up 17-3 with like 6 minutes to go.
Oh yeah.
It was like the most Jim Mora of all the Jim Mora games. Just like so Saints, they couldn't run. It's like the Saints now. They couldn't run the ball They kept trying to run the ball. They couldn't burn the clock. Just horrible. So before we get to the mailbag questions, I have a question that I thought, and since Dave's back, I asked Andrew this, Dave, and I want your opinion too. If the Saints win Sunday, and if Carolina wins, where does that game rank in Saints history for regular season?
This is the mailbag. This is the question you're submitting to the mailbag.
This is the question I submitted. Where does it rank regular season? You can't take playoffs. You can't take Tracy Porter and Garrett Hartley in the playoffs. And all. You can't pick the playoffs. So where does it rank regular season?
Oh, wow. I can't pick Hakeem drops the ball.
No, you can't pick Hakeem drops the ball. Like, it's got to be regular season. So my regular season,
because if it was playoffs, this wouldn't even be a blip on the radar.
Like, you can't top Tracy Porter.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would rank Gleason number 1, Rebirth.
It's hard.
And this would be number 2.
I mean, really? I would say I would say this has a strong case to be number 2. My top 5 was...
This would be top 5 for me, including playoffs.
Part of what...
So, what? Yeah. And the reason I say that is because the big thing about Hakeem drops the ball when the Saints finally won their first playoff game is that as a young fan, I was constantly told the Saints will never win a playoff game ever. And I had to deal, like, the fan base just had... especially the people around me, the older generation, my family, it was so toxic and negative about the Saints. And as a young, like, positive kid, I was like, no, maybe this is the year they'll do it. And it was just so gratifying to, against all odds, for them to finally win that playoff game. And I feel like this season we have felt so much similar. I'm not saying I want to stick it to a bunch of Saints fans, but I don't know. I feel like there's so much negativity from the own fan base about the team that, like, it would feel kind of amazing to watch those guys and DA. I'm not even a huge DA supporter or Derek Carr supporter, but to watch them overcome, like, when everyone's been down on them, including their own fan base, to find a way to win the division, get into the playoffs,
and then lose.
It would,
it doesn't matter.
I don't know how the playoffs go, but, like, in the moment, that would be really gratifying.
Here's the thing, though. In the moment, Dave, it'll be so amazing because here's the thing. The Saints will beat Atlanta, which in and of itself is just great.
Yes.
We hate Atlanta. And that will be amazing. So you beat Atlanta, and then you turn your eyes to Carolina, and maybe they kick a field goal or whatever, and the Saints get... I mean, all these people that are like, I don't care, I want DA fired, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, at 2:55, 3 o'clock, when that Saints game is over and Carolina's winning or driving for a field goal, you're going to be all in to win this super division.
Sure.
And like you're not. No. I think it'd be amazing. I think Andrew's right. It would be second. And I would even say Gleason should be its own category. Like
it's not. Okay. It's a regular season game and it's not. And it's number 1. And this is why you bring me on this podcast, I guess, and keep me on here so that I can disagree with you two idiots. You boring, simple-minded, amoeba-brained idiots.
Shut up!
I first of all, half of what would potentially make this game great. Well, let me back up. Look, I want
beating the Falcons.
No. Look, let me back up. I want the Saints to win. I'm all in on the Saints. Let's go. Let's beat the Falcons. I want the Panthers to win and beat the Bucs. Like, I'm all in on that. But half of it, you're relying on another game from another team. Like, if that doesn't even happen, that takes everything from the Saints game is gone. Second of all, I think when you look back, you right now, you're Ralph, you're being your typical prisoner of the moment self. 5 years from now, when we look back on the season, they beat the Falcons to get into the playoffs, but then they just lost in the playoffs 38-10, and it was embarrassing or whatever. But two, you asked me to think of games. Okay, so I'm thinking of the Gleason game. One, I like the Patriots game in 2009 where we beat the shit out of Brady. I like the Dallas game in 2006 where with Mike Carney, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. So now we're talking about 4th, 5th best regular season game. And I'm not even Rain Man brain like you guys. You could probably now that I've gotten the years start turning. I see Andrew's thinking right now. Andrew's going to come up with another good game.
I had Tom Dempsey
that I haven't thought of, but he's got
the CJ Spiller over
Dallas Cowboys. Great game. Okay, that's 4. Come on, let's bring them.
I had my top 5. I had Gleason, Dempsey.
There you go.
I had Gleason, Dempsey. The Saints getting a winning season in Pittsburgh.
How about what was the Falcons coach that went for it on 4th and 1? What was his name?
Oh yeah, and I had
Smith?
1990.
Yeah,
clinch the Rams game to clinch the playoff spot.
Andrew, just when you're talking about the Falcons and their coach, just say Smith and you're good. But my point is like it's exciting right now. We're really excited because we still have a chance to make the playoffs. Now this game last week of the season against the Falcons, like it's got some meaning. But I just think at the end of the day, 5 years from now, we're gonna look back and it's not gonna be a big deal. It's a big deal now.
Dave, no, that banner hangs forever.
I get it, but the banner is going to be meaningless unless the Saints went on and did something and made some kind of noise in the playoffs, like got to the NFC Championship game. Then it becomes more meaningful. But
we disagree. I think.
I don't think anything I was saying was that intelligent.
Didn't the Saints have to beat the Falcons in Week 17 a few years ago to make?
And
so is that not on the list too then?
And the Rams lost.
Yeah. Well, okay. So that's on the list. That's the same situation, is it not?
No, because it didn't go their way, so it's not memorable.
No.
If it doesn't go your way, you just flush it down the toilet like a wipe.
Well, skibbity toilet. That's where this is going.
So, Thomas, get us a question from the mailbag from a viewer or listener.
All right. First question from Who.Gopher. And he asks, speaking of Falcons, do we hate the Falcons worse than the Falcons fans hate us?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We shouldn't. They should hate us more because we're better and they suck.
Falcons fans. I mean, I'm with Andrew turned me on to this like 5-6 years ago. Like when the Falcons are struggling, like just go to the Falcoholic and just like enjoy their misery. Like they are going through it because, like, here's the thing. Like, the Saints, you look at the Saints this year, they don't have any bad losses, right? I mean, like, the Green Bay game, yeah, but, like, no, the Saints haven't lost to any team that's, like, drafting in the top 10. Atlanta, there's, like, 8 teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. Atlanta's lost to half of them. Like, they have dreadful losses.
I will say I saw that the Atlanta Falcons Twitter like posted something, and anytime they post, like I immediately go read the comments because I know they're just getting hammered, and it does feel like looking in the mirror because especially the Saints fans have chilled out a little bit since they've been winning, but like the Fire DA stuff was at an apex. But who did we lose to before Carolina? What game was that? Minnesota, maybe?
Detroit.
Detroit, yeah. But, I mean, the Fire DA stuff was out of control. It was like every comment. And, like, that's what Atlanta's like right now. Right. Fire Arthur Smith. I mean, it's like looking in the mirror. I mean,
there is a sizable chunk. I can't speak to the percentages because I don't know Atlanta. But there is a sizable chunk of Atlanta fans. They want the Saints to kick the shit out of the Falcons. And they want Arthur Smith like gone, and they're just like, this is the price we have to pay. The Bears kick the crap out of us. The Saints will kick the crap out of us, and that will make them fire Arthur Smith. And I just have to suck it up and take it. Like, I don't know. I can't put a percentage on it, but that's where they are. Like,
well, I was at my daughter's basketball practice tonight, and the guy next to me that's watching his daughter, he's a big Falcons fan, and he knows I have a Saints podcast. And so he was talking to me. He's like, big game this weekend. And he was telling me that, like, there's this variance for the Falcons, which I didn't appreciate. But he's like, if we win this game, and Carolina wins, then the Falcons win the division and they host the playoff game. And he was saying that if the Falcons lose and the Jets, I think the Jets have to win, then they're playing the Patriots, the Falcons pick 8th. So like their variance of what happens with their draft pick is like, it's crazy. It can swing like 15 spots. And so he was saying like, please beat the ever loving shit out of us. Like he as a Falcons fan, he's like, I want to pick 8th. I don't want to host a playoff game and get humiliated. He's like, please beat the pants off of us. So, I mean, he definitely did not sound excited about the possibility of winning the division.
Arthur Smith fired?
Oh yeah. He wants Arthur Smith fired.
Gave Andrew pause though. Andrew's like, wait a minute, you're going to fire your coach and you're going to get the 8th round draft?
I was like,
you know what? Maybe we should start Jameis. Wait a minute. I went down a rabbit hole here. I'm going back to Ralph's question about regular season game. I just want to throw out some more great regular season games.
Channeling Kevin, I see.
I am channeling. I got an iPad. I got a new iPad for Christmas, so now I have like this mini computer.
Oh, you got to show it off then, huh? That's what it's about.
I like 2006 against Washington. Remember, was that the one?
Oh, yeah.
The meet around
2009.
2009 against Washington. That was
that was the unknown who dat.
Yep. Saints Giants, like the 50 whatever to 40 something.
Oh yeah, he got the Kai Forbath at the gun.
That game was great.
That was good.
Saints Colts 2011. What this one?
62-3
points. That game was great. The 9-0 Tampa game. Ralph loved that game. Look at it right there. I knew he got excited. I remember Ralph loving that game.
I love that game.
What was the game where Jimmy Graham broke Sean Payton's leg and he was drinking a beer in the fourth quarter in the press box because he was up like 62-0.
That was the Colts game. That was the
Colts game. Yeah.
He's eating a hot dog.
What else?
Dave just torched my question with facts and old games. He's like, yeah.
The Kamara Christmas 6 touchdowns.
Oh, 6 touchdowns. Come on.
That was cool.
A lot of great regular season games. Anyway. You're done.
You win this one, Dave.
I wanted to make sure the body was shot up real good.
Yeah, but the thing about this one is it's not just the Saints winning; it's Carolina beating the Bucs. It's
makes it less. That's what I'm saying. Like half of the experience has to come from another game.
That's true. It does, but
I think that makes it almost more improbable. Therefore, amazing.
And I'm going to text my buddy who handles game day ops, does all the stuff in the stadium. The question is like they need to maximize if the Carolina Bucs game is close, like in the stadium, they need to maximize
the energy.
Like the updates, like if I don't know if they can show the game or not, but like they need to be constantly updating, especially like if Saints are on defense, if we can get the crowd up a little bit more and show a score update.
I think they don't need to. I mean, people have phones. I don't think they need to. Like I think it's
because when you show it on the screen, then everybody sees it at the same time and everybody cheers at the same time.
I think the Saints will strategically, like when they do those updates from around the NFL. Yeah. If it's going really bad for Tampa, that'll be your lead, Like they know how to do it.
So, I've already promised my son that I will bring him to New Orleans if the Saints host a playoff game.
We're going.
So, we might be coming back, Dave.
All right, we'll go. Me and you.
Oh no, should we put Andy Dalton on our wall of fame here if he helps Carolina beat the Bucs?
So Andy Dalton is starting. I
don't know. I don't know.
Andy Dalton got Buffalo to the playoffs in 2017.
Oh yeah,
by beating the Ravens when he was with Cincinnati, and Buffalo fans donated like $1 million to his charity. We can't donate $1 million to his charity here at Saints Happy Hour,
but actually John can.
But we'll donate something. If Andy Dalton starts and
the Cajun
Panthers to victory, we will donate something. So, Thomas, what's next?
All right, second question from Budrich. Budrich asks, which individual defensive performance was more random? Jonathan Abram against the Bucs or Daniel Sorensen against Cleveland.
This is a good question.
That was nuts.
That was.
Did Sorensen have 2 picks in that game?
He did.
Or what about, I don't know, would you put Mike McKenzie
2009?
In this, like, that was pretty
Sign him
random.
on a Wednesday, get an interception on a Monday.
Also, remember Jamarcus Sanford winning the game against the Falcons that one year? That was kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. Was that the last game of the season?
No.
Yeah. He picked off Matt Ryan to end the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan!
Yeah.
I mean, I would say for this
I would go Sorensen.
Yeah, so because it was Christmas Eve, it was negative 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, and like the Jonathan Abram, here's the thing. Like the second Jonathan Abram pick, I don't know that it mattered. That fumble that he created, that's one that was
a huge play.
That was as big a play as any in the game. Like, really
I
swung the
agree.
game because you're like, oh, it's 20-0. We can't run the ball. Tampa's moving, and then it's like, you're done. Tampa fumble. No. I leaned, but Sorensen was.
I'm not gonna lie to seeing Demario Davis return that fumble. Like, I wanted to see the ball in his hands more often.
Yeah.
Can we go like LSU with Harold Perkins and just give Demario Davis a goal line carry? I kind of want to see what that looks like.
I feel like if the Saints
Go Tigers.
if the Saints end up making it to the playoffs and doing anything in the playoffs, I feel like Demario Davis is going to be prominently in. Like, I feel like Demario Davis is taking over. Like, he's the coach now of the Saints. Like,
this is happening. I'm the coach now.
Dave, if I gave you a choice between Jimmy Graham can score against the Falcons and it breaks my dry January after drink 2 IPAs on the show, or
enticing,
or Colin Saunders scores a fat guy touchdown against the Falcons. Well, how about this?
No,
the Saints decide to hand it off to Saunders on like a 4th and 1 play from the 40, and he just goes 40 yards for a touchdown.
Oh my!
So it's not even like a goal line thing. He goes all the way 40 yards
and outruns people.
Yes, like runs a couple safeties over. You know,
I'm still taking Jimmy. I'm
not. I'm taking.
Wait, does Jimmy?
Oh my God.
By the way, I just want to go on record here now because I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but now we're at the week here. It's Falcons Hate Week. Jimmy Graham. I know you're listening. I know you listen to this podcast. I know most players have this on their wireless Beats headphones when they're walking into the stadium.
Someone give this to Jimmy. Make sure Jimmy hears this.
If you score against the Falcons in Week 18, which might be your last game in NFL history, it might be. Like, if we don't make the playoffs, Jimmy's probably retiring for good, not coming back, right?
Right.
Maybe.
If he scores a touchdown, you dunk that fucking ball over that fucking goalpost like
I've
it's
been asking
the last
for this all year.
ball you will ever hold in your fucking life. Do you hear me, Jimmy?
Penalty.
We'll pay the fine.
We'll
donate. We'll start a GoFundMe. We'll cover the fine.
In addition to Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael, you do whatever the fuck you need to do to get Jimmy Graham in the goddamn end zone with the football.
Yeah, and you better give him no shit for the 15-yard penalty.
That's right.
None.
Yeah.
You give him permission now during the week that you're not going to give him shit for that.
I don't care if that's the game-tying touchdown. I don't care. He's still dunking it with 5 seconds left. I don't care. He's dunking.
Thomas, timestamp that and put that on social media.
Just bleep out the curses. It's probably
what's next,
for
Thomas?
social media.
Yeah, make sure you tag Jimmy Graham too.
All right, next question. Don't check our long question, so pay attention. Clearly, winning and sneaking into playoffs is the most desired outcome Sunday. But if we can't have that, would you rather truck the Falcons 28-3, Jimmy get a tutty, but doesn't guarantee a win, or Taysom run, pass, and catch his TD?
28-3.
Has that ever happened? Run, pass, and caught a TD in the same game?
I don't know.
Would that be
runs for a touchdown pass?
If that runs, passes, and catches a touchdown pass, if that's an NFL record that's never been done before, I'm taking that. Aside, if that's not a record and that's already been done before, I just went on my Jimmy rant. I'm going to take Jimmy.
No,
I'm going 28-3.
28-3. It doesn't even need to finish 28-3. It just needs to be 28.
No, it needs to finish. It needs to finish. No,
Jimmy would be an amazing moment, and I'm tempted to take it regardless of the result. But like 28-3, we could lord over their heads forever.
Yeah.
Okay, but Ralph, it has to finish 28-3.
No, it just has to be.
No,
it has to finish. I'm with Dave. It has to finish.
Yes, it has to be. It has to.
Yeah,
finish.
if it's just 28-3 at some point, and then Atlanta scores a garbage touchdown late, like that doesn't do it for me.
Best come hard.
The only way it's acceptable to be 28-3 is if it's Falcons 28, Saints 3, and then the Saints come back and win.
You guys haven't thought about this scenario.
Right.
Thank you, Hatchet John. What if Taysom catches his touchdown pass from Jimmy Graham?
Wow.
What just got oh shit. Who dunks the ball? That's my question.
That's right.
Okay. No. Here we go. Taysom pass to Jimmy. No. Jimmy pass to Taysom. Score. Celebration. Taysom alley-oop to Jimmy dunk. There it is. I die. Just bury me. Bury me there. I will just ascend to heaven.
Say goodbye to your kids, man.
I don't care about my kids anymore at that point. I only care about Taysom Hill and Jimmy Graham because they pulled off the most amazing touchdown celebration ever in the history. No, wait. Okay. Ralph got to ask a question. I want to ask a question. This is a serious question. We're going back to the Detroit-Dallas game. The not calling in. No, I have a serious question. I was going to text you guys. I have a serious question. I know you have to have 5 players on the line. Everybody else can be eligible. If you're a number 60, 70, whatever, you need to report as eligible. It doesn't matter where you line up, right? You can have you can have one guy to the left of center, and you could have 3 guys to the right of center. It doesn't matter what order they're in, as long as you just have 5 guys down on the line, right?
I think it has to be the outside guy.
Yeah.
So, like, he has to be outside the tackle. So, like, a guard can't be eligible. A guard can't report eligible if the alignment is next to the center.
Oh, yeah, understood. But let's say, what if you only have a guard on the left side and then you have a guard and a tackle on the right side? So you can have another tackle on the left side eligible.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That call by the...
If I was Dan Campbell, I'd be livid.
I mean, it's not as high.
Considering that he explained everything before. That's the thing. Like Sean Payton did the same thing. Like before the Super Bowl, he explained ambush. He said, "This is what we're going to do," so that the refs could be prepared for it. And that's what Dan Campbell did, and they still fucked it up.
It's not as high stakes as the no call.
No.
So in that, it can't be as bad as the no call when you include stakes. But as far as like an official screwing it up, it's just as bad. Like that, and it's going to cost. Detroit's going to end up playing Matthew Stafford instead of being the 2 seed. Like it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Thomas, what's next?
Nice Pelicans win this evening.
There we go.
Who do they beat?
The Nets, Brooklyn Nets.
Ooh, all right.
What's next, Thomas?
Okay, final question of the show from Aldi Marino. He asks, if you and the Saints crashed in the Andes and were forced to eat a coach or player to survive, who gets eaten and what sauce / condiment are you using?
Well, am I allowed to pick Rob Ryan?
It kind of reminded me of the zombie apocalypse question.
Coaches?
Does it have to be current coaches?
I just think Rob Ryan would have more meat.
Aldi Marino in the chat. Aldi Marino in the chat.
I'm assuming that the nature of the question is that there's current coaches.
Todd Grantham's pretty beefy. I mean, if you want to.
I'm not going to eat Blake Groupie. That'll last me like a day or two.
Yeah.
That's for sure. He's at the bottom of the list.
I mean, I think you start with a practice squad, right? Like Lord of the Flies, right? You work your way.
I don't know. Do you want a more muscly player like Taysom Hill? Does he taste better than like more of like a fatty player like Saunders?
Yeah, I don't know. And remember, you got to cook them and eat them. You gotta kill them first. So like the muscular guys might be more difficult. I think this is maybe less about
like logic and reason and more about like who you hate the most.
Yeah.
I feel like most fans would say Derek Carr.
Pete Carmichael.
Carmichael.
So you're onto something now. So this question is funny to me because I was actually fascinated with this whole thing. This is a reference to the Uruguayan soccer team that crashed in the Andes Mountains in 1972. And then a subsequent movie was made in the 90s about it called Alive that I watched. And I also read the book, and I did a book report on this in high school.
Oh, wow.
And so you guys are onto something there because part of it is like, there's Ryan. Yeah. See, but that's all fat. So that's not, you need protein. But part of it is like you guys were mentioning there at the end is like, I don't like, who can you like mentally eat? Like, Taysom's such a nice guy. I don't, but yeah, Derek Carr, I'm okay eating him. That's fine. But yeah, you want to start, I think like the thigh area,
See, like I couldn't eat Kamara. I'd feel too bad. I'd be.
Yeah, no, you don't.
What about Trevor Penning?
Oh, he'd be.
Oh yeah, forget it. Let's slice that bitch up.
Rib. Rib.
There is also a question about the sauces.
Okay, so I don't get this question.
How about cane sauce?
You're in a plane crash and you have to eat the people that died in the plane crash, but for somehow you have an assortment of sauces that you can just.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I have like cane sauce. I have barbecue sauce, honey mustard. Right.
So I don't know. I mean, are we talking about goat sauces here? Cane sauce
Or
is
like,
pretty good.
was it like McDonald's barbecue sauce?
Is that your favorite?
Cane's is where it's at, I think.
I like Cane's. I don't know.
I like a good teriyaki sauce. I don't know.
All right, Thomas.
You know, which player is most likely to eat one of his teammates? For that question, I would pick Lou Headley. Final answer.
Oh, definitely. Lou Headley is not.
You probably enjoy it.
Lou Headley's not getting eaten by anyone. Never.
Needs more garlic.
Like if they found the Saints and it was one guy alive, it'll be him. So Thomas, what's next?
I just love that we're so desperate we have to eat each other, but we have unlimited sauces.
That's right.
just the thought of that is just cracking me up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's next, Thomas?
All right, next question from Budrich. He asks, if Detroit sends a first for Adebo, would you accept?
No.
Yes.
Oh, would I accept? Oh, yes. I thought you said, would I be upset? No, I would not be upset. And yes, I would accept.
I think you got to say yes because the Saints cap situation is such a mess that I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a great deal. Honestly, that's probably somebody who's got some actual value.
Detroit they would have to be extra desperate for a corner.
I don't really care who offers. I will take a first round pick.
Any first round pick, even if Detroit's picking in the bottom in the 20s. The problem is though, you're going to have Lattimore miss half the year in 2024, and Taylor,
but we got Taylor.
You're going to need to draft a corner.
Well, I honestly, like going back to what Andrew said earlier, and that's the reason why I am very quick to say yes, let's accept it. Dennis Allen has done a great job with the secondary. Like it doesn't really matter who's back there. He
figures it out.
They make Isaac, like we said, they make Isaac Yedem look like a freaking Pro Bowler.
He's on the must resign list. I didn't have that on my bingo card. Thomas, what's next?
That was the final question, man.
Yeah. Oh, that was the final question. All right. So thanks, guys, for the questions. As always, send us the questions. If we don't get to them on the live stream, me and Dave will do them in a mailbag when we do a mailbag, and we'll use all the content you can send. So send Thomas questions in the Discord. And by the way, sign up for Saints Happy Hour. You get access to our Discord. It's amazing. You get access to our content every day. You should do it. It's amazing. Thomas, final donation, or not a final donation, but give us a donation update before we get to game picks.
Okay, so we are at 186 out of 283 for the third drink, Rolf. And
oh my God.
Hache John is still in the lead with $51. Right behind him, Rage with $50 for the MVP leader.
For the third drink, I could drink like I got some disgusting.
The hot
I haven't even opened
Malta Boot.
a multitude of hard. I haven't even opened Monadula's box, and Monadula's just sent me the.
No, I think if we hit the donation threshold, you're opening that box, and we're taking a look at what's.
I'm worried that whatever Monadula sent you might have like human remains included in it. If I'm being
from the Andes, from a plane crash in the Andes,
right?
No, from his apartment.
Wow, we love you, Monadula. Just play.
Do we?
I do. He's like an original.
He's the OG.
He's the OG. He's a Jujian.
I know. I only say this, Monadula, because I know you can take it, and also I know because you're a weirdo, and I don't know.
So
takes one to know one, Dave.
It does take one to know one.
Don't die on us, Ralph.
Don't die. So we got to get the game picks and preview.
Do we have to? This is really becoming a bear. This whole game picks.
We got to go. Well, we're at the end,
it's like the worst part of my week. I do not look forward to it.
Recap the week, Dave.
This is unbelievable.
Check this out. Andrew is like the luckiest person on earth, man.
I know. Oh, it's about to be 21-21. Oh no!
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Look at that. I called that thing exactly. Almost. I had it.
31-13.
Ralph, you might get out of the cellar here.
I might, or not, probably. So look, the Saints are favored by 3 in this game. Arthur Smith.
It's gonna come down to the wire, guys. 21-21.
Do we have any new rules, Thomas? On
we do, but I'm gonna let
give us the
finish
new rules,
or something.
Thomas.
Okay.
The new rule, since it's last week, every point is gonna count twice, so 2-time multiplier for everything that you can get. So when you predict the exact score, you're gonna get like 22 points or something.
Oh wow!
But that never happened during the show. But if you predict like Ralph did last week, then he's gonna get 10 points. So even Ralph can win.
Wow! And that's what I'm talking about.
Special new rules: you can take whoever you want.
Oh wow!
This week.
So who's gonna go?
Including defensive players?
Including defensive players, yeah.
Ooh, wow! So who you going?
Ralph's first because he has the least amount of points.
As always, Thomas, I've forgotten my score, but I'm just gonna say this. It's gonna be a magical Sunday. I got the Bubba's Magic carpet. If you're an old Buddy D listener from back in the day, this is happening. Saints are winning, Carolina's winning, and the Saints are gonna house Atlanta. Like, I believe that. Like, Atlanta, Andrew has completely converted me. Atlanta's trash. They're trash. They're a trash organization. They're trash people. They're trash coach. All of it. I believe that this game, it's not going to end 28-3, so it's not going to be satisfying to Dave and Andrew. But for the rest of us, there's going to be a moment in the third quarter where it's going to be 28-3 Saints, and we are going to giggle and we're going to laugh. And then we're going to turn our attention to Carolina to see if they can beat the Bucs. But Atlanta will score a couple of late touchdowns to make it a little bit hairy, a little bit annoying because the Saints can't run the ball and close out games. Saints 28-17. Derek Carr is going to light the Birds on fire to finish 2023. He's going to throw 4 touchdowns. And he's going to throw 4 touchdowns and get to 30 touchdowns for the first time in his career.
So you're picking Derek Carr?
I'm picking Derek Carr.
Damn, I thought nobody would get that idea. And I would make fun of you guys. But damn, Ralph, you impressed me.
There you go.
Oh, Derek Carr.
Who's next, Thomas?
Dave's next, but he went somewhere. So maybe Andrew can take over.
31-10. Saints.
Oh wow!
I think the Saints are going to play their best game of the year. I think they're going to dump truck the Falcons from start to finish.
Are the Saints going to get Arthur Smith fired?
And yes, they will get Arthur Smith fired.
I don't know.
And you know what, Thomas? Yeah. I can pick anyone. I'm taking a big risk here. Give me Jimmy Graham.
Oh wow!
Shit.
Hey,
he's writing.
Give me some props for having stones, if nothing else.
That's right. He's writing his own.
I could have picked Olave. You know, I could have picked Shaheed. Give me Jimmy Graham, baby.
Well, while Dave's gone,
this is it. I can feel it.
We talk about this game preview. Give me a quick. I was worried about the offensive line when me and you were talking.
Maybe call Kevin in the meantime.
You were like, "Don't worry about it," but I'm like, Cam Irving. The offensive line, like, should I be concerned, or you're just like, they're all bad? It doesn't matter who they play at right tackle.
Atlanta has the worst pass rush in the league. They have no pass rush, and they've kind of mailed it in.
And they're they bet on a lot of old guys like Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell. Like, they're not exactly younger than the Saints. Like their 1 year defensive improvement is, I don't think it's sustainable in any way. So Dave, you're back. Thank you for coming back.
Call Kevin in the meantime, guys.
Yeah,
I'm calling him.
Oh, Dave, give us your pick. I thought I was going to be like maybe the only guy that picked the Saints, but everybody's picking the Saints in a blowout. Now I'm worried.
Kevin, you there?
Wait, no. Kevin goes last, so Kevin can hold.
Actually, you need to hold because Dave's going.
Sorry, but I had some things to take care of.
Yeah.
All right. I think Saints are going to win this. Atlanta's trash. Arthur Smith is trash. Saints are the greatest. I went with Saints. What did I say? Saints 24.
Very important.
It's not going to be a blowout. Yeah, Saints 24, Falcons 21. Oh shit! And you just took Derek Carr. Who can I take now?
You can take anybody.
Anybody? Man. Even
anybody.
On defense.
Even on defense.
Can I pick somebody that somebody's taken?
No.
All
right.
That would make no sense. Maybe you want to pick Jimmy and steal
hurry
from
up,
Andrew.
Kevin's waiting.
Because he took your spot.
That's right.
Falcons killer.
Just pick, man.
I did. I said I'm taking Taysom.
Taysom. Okay.
Oh, damn,
all right,
that's
Kevin.
a nice pick.
Yeah.
So you're up. Do you want to reveal who you picked first with the score? But then there's a new rule this week where you're allowed to pick any player you want, including a defensive player if you want. However, Derek Carr, Taysom Hill, and Jimmy Graham have already been spoken for. So
I'm going to assume Ralph took Jimmy Graham.
No, that would be me.
Let's see. I'm going to take the Saints 24-18. I cannot fathom. Well, I can fathom it. I just can't pick it. I cannot pick the Falcons to beat the Saints at home, like in New Orleans. I just can't. So I have to pick the Saints to win 24-18. Let's see. Carr was taken. Taysom was taken. And Jimmy Graham was taken.
You could take a defensive player if you want. Or Olave's still out there.
Oh, Jameis.
Well, you and I are tied in first place with 21 points. Dave is a distant third with 14.
By the way, Andrew, if Jimmy gets 0 points, you get -4. Keep that in mind, man.
He's not. He's going to score a touchdown.
Andrew's doubling down. Andrew's like, if I have to drink an IPA, I'm going to win this damn contest.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go.
This is a no-brainer to me. This is Olave.
I'm going to say Olave.
Yeah,
he went Olave.
Who was it? Who else were you thinking about?
Yeah, who else were you thinking of, Kevin?
Juwan Johnson, maybe.
Oh, Shaheed, yeah.
Yeah, Juwan was good last week, yeah.
I was also thinking of Demario Davis.
Ah.
All right, you're going with Olave, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
How do defensive players get scored? You're going off their fantasy scores?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if he gets 10 tackles and
you never played IDP.
No.
They score tackles, they score interceptions and shit, obviously. Everything.
Interceptions.
TFLs.
Right.
It's pretty fun, but you don't score as many points as offensive players do usually.
I think you're muted, Ralph, if you were trying to say something.
It's not in the game predictions per se, because we, during the year, we don't give a damn about other games. But this week, other games really matter because the Saints have 2 pathways to the playoffs. Beat Atlanta, they got to do. And then either Carolina wins or Green Bay and Seattle both lose. They both play at 3:00. So my question to you, gentlemen, is will the Saints, if we all think they're going to beat Atlanta, do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. I say yes.
I mean, I
like the Bears. I like the Bears to upset the Packers. I think Seattle beats Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle's defense is horrific, and they're playing on the road. And I just you're probably right, Andrew, but I man, if the Saints would get in as the 7th seed, and having to play Dallas would be the worst possible matchup for the Saints. I mean, I wouldn't say no to it because I never say no to playoffs, but that would be an ugly, ugly game. But I'm going our dreams are going to come true. Saints are going to beat Atlanta, house them, and Carolina is going to find a way. And to celebrate, all the Carolina players are going to dump drinks on David Tepper's head in the locker room. That's my prediction. He got fined today, Dave, $300,000 for throwing a drink on a fan. Just saying. So, Thomas, before we get out of here, give us a donation update.
Okay, so we reached 2 donation goals tonight. Fantastic team effort. 11 different donators. Thanks to Hudat Gopher. Thanks to Aldi Marino, to Octoberisk, to Don Checo, to Romeo, to Breton Lafayette, to Hudat Gopher, to Le Badrich, to Jason Champagne, to Rage, and to the MVP for the 5th time this season with 51 buckaroos, who is the one and only Hatchet John. Congratulations.
I'll make this commitment on the podcast tonight. If the Saints are in the playoffs next week on the live stream, we'll do 2-for-1 drinks. So if you donate 100, if you get to 100, I'll drink 2.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
If you get to the second donation level, I'll drink 4. If the Saints make the playoffs.
Oh boy.
That's my commitment.
And mix them up. Mix them up.
What? What did I mix up?
Mix them up, the drinks. Mix up the drinks.
Yeah, I'll mix them up. If they go to the playoffs, I'll take a picture and people can pick. How about that? Y'all.
The Malort better get there.
Malort better get so.
Jesus Christ.
Did you send it by Pony Express, Dave? So thanks to everybody for listening and
no, you should have it by Friday.
Thanks everybody for listening and supporting Saints Happy Hour. Please go to saintshappyhour.com, become a patron and support the show. We can't do this without you guys' support. Thanks to Dave, to Andrew, for Kevin for calling in, giving him his game picks, and Thomas, the best producer on earth, running the show back in Poland. Remember, kids, if you're going to support a Saints podcast, support the one that wins awards. And until next time, the bar is closed.